Today we are going to discuss the Field coat of arms. But before we get started, we wanted to let you know that we offer genealogy research service at our website. Please visit us at coadb.com. First Field coat of arms to discuss is Sable 3 garbs argent for the Fields or Delafields of Audley or Madley in County Herefordshire, England. It was born by the 13th century knight John Feld. And we know Walter de Ffelde and his son John lived at Madley around the year 1350 or after. Sable is chevron engrailed between 3 garbs argent. This was the Fields of Weston and Stanstead Bury in Hertfordshire, England, granted in 1653 to Edmond Field, son and heir of Thomas Field, and to his sister also Susan Field. And we know Edward Field, or Edmond Field, purchased Stanstead Bury around the year 1678. And here we see that estate, modern day. Same coat of arms with a crest, and this is for the Fields of Ardesloe or Ardsley in Yorkshire, England. The crest granted to John Field in 1558, the English astronomer. He was the son of Richard Field, who died in the 16th century. He was also born by Field of Horton and Shipley, and by Field of Alsby Grange in Lincolnshire. It looks like David Field, who died in 1809, was vicar of Alsby, and there was his father, David Field, who was sheriff of Lincolnshire. Another where the crest is a hand holding a javelin, and that was for Field of Oxford in England. I wasn't able to quite find this, but there it was depicted on a monument in a Gloucester church, I believe, for one Nicholas Field, who either died in 1786 or was born in that year or lived around that year. Next, this says Field of Ireland, crest a lily and holly branch in satire proper. Wasn't able to find who this crest belonged to. Field of Sutton in County Suffolk, gules a chevron between 3 garbs or. Coat of arms of Joshua Field, who was born in 1828 of Latchmere House in Ham. He was Deputy Lieutenant and Justice of the Peace, the eldest son of Joshua Field of Balham House in Surrey, and of North Warnborough in Hampshire. This is Field of Surrey, or on a pile vert 3 garbs of the field. More properly, it's the same coat of arms as Old Field. Now this was born by Albert Frederick Field, a medical doctor living in Aberdeen and Edinburgh, Scotland, and Charles Field. They were sons of John Field, who was born in 1776. And I have a note here that says this was born by Zachariah Field of Hadley in Suffolk, who came to Hartford, Connecticut in the United States around the year 1639. So this must have been granted to someone before then. I wasn't able to find or ascertain who the original armiger was. If you know, please let us know in the comments. Very similar one per chevron sable ermine and chief to dolphins oar. Back to Ireland, the Delafields of Culdiff in Dublin, and their junior branch, the Delafields of Painstown in Dublin. The first armiger was Robert Delafield of Painstown, alive in the 15th century. Later recorded in the funeral entry of John Delafield of Painstown, who died in 1624. Coat of arms of Walter Field of Dublin. He was a merchant who died in 1610. Coat of arms of James Field, who died in 1623, medical doctor of Dublin, Ireland. Jane Anne Elizabeth Field, granted 1815, daughter of Michael Field, lieutenant of the Royal Navy, and wife of Edmund Lodge, Esquire. John Wilmer Field, Esquire, born 1775 of Heaton Hall near Bradford, and Helmsley Lodge and Weston House, all in Yorkshire, granted in 1827, son of Joshua Field, Lord of the Manor, who was son of Joshua Field, who died in 1772. Here we see Heaton Hall in Bradford. John Field or Feld of Herring in Middlesex, alive in the year 1477, owned lands in Staunton. Fields of England, this we know predated 1817. That was all I was able to find on it. Another for Field. Another for Field. Field or Feld of Pagan Hall in Gloucestershire. Anthony Feld of Pagan Hall, son of Giles, who was son of Thomas. And then Anthony had son Richard Feld of Packen Hill, who was fined for not taking knighthood, as well as Giles, Edward, Nathaniel, Samuel, Anthony, and Joseph. Coat of arms worn by Joseph Delafield, Esquire, alive in the year 1820, of Campden Hill in Kensington, Middlesex. And with a crescent, it's the arms and crest of John Delafield, who died in 1866. Another from Lancashire. There's no information out there on this one. Bear, Argent, and Sable. Likely for Delafield of Lancashire, which might be contraction of D. Ellisfeld. Another for Isaac Field of Yaxley, granted in the 1820s. And another for Edward Field of Ipswich and Sedgrave in Suffolk, granted in the 1830s. And if you enjoyed this video, please visit us at coadb.com, link in the description. Thank you very much.